And I'm Ricky.
And welcome to the Briefing Room. So we're entering episode 5. For those of you who have watched since episode 1, we are very grateful for you. And for those of you who are just jumping on today, we appreciate your time today. So we have a special guest with us today. She is a new home builder consultant. So she works for Lennar. She's a realtor for Lennar. She's been doing this for quite a while, and she's been very successful. She's been somebody that I've spent a lot of time in the industry with. And we really wanted to make sure we got her in front of some of our viewers so you could hear some of the programs and opportunities that new homes are offering right now. So without further ado, I believe we have T with us. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well, well. Thank you so much for being on the show. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, I just want to jump right in. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We do appreciate you being here. But I want to talk about what we kind of expected to come out of new home sales at the beginning of this. When COVID-19 hit, it was one of those things that none of us really knew what was going to happen, right? It was very much up in the air. We all got sent home. It was kind of scary, I guess, at the beginning, and my thoughts on what was going to happen with the new home sales were going to be that you had all this inventory that we had just pushed out, and it was just going to be sitting there. And so I want to hear kind of about what did happen in the new home sale market and what you guys are doing now.
Thanks. So like you, I was the same thing, not sure what was going to happen, and I continued to work, went into my office and closed the door and locked the door and put a note on the front door. So when guests would come up, they would call me and ask a few questions before coming in. And it's kind of worked out well. Where I've seen the market go is actually better than I thought, maybe because it is new homes. They're feeling safer buying new. I can't tell you what the resale's like, but I can tell you that we have sold at a rapid pace. This past weekend, we sold 57 new homes in Tampa Bay alone.
Wow. Lennar did. As a whole, sold 57.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Wow.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That's a big piece of the market right now.
Yeah. Well, if we could back up just a little bit, T, how long have you been with Lennar, and how long have you been, as a realtor?
So I've been with Lennar. February was 8 years.
Okay.
As in general real estate, our total real estate, 22 years, coming
wow.
up on 23.
Wow. And your husband is a real estate agent as well, right?
He is. He's with the Keller Williams Lovage team down in Apollo Beach.
Yeah, we love those guys. We love the Lovage team, and we were just talking about how we were in there before, and that is a fun bunch of people, the Lovage team.
Yeah.
So we
full of energy.
I know he probably comes home at the end of the day and he's like, "Oh, I'm exhausted, just ready to wind down." So that's very cool. So 22 years is that's a long time. So you've seen a lot of the volatility of the market, and you got to kind of live through. Where were you at in 08, 09 timeframe when the market really took a turn?
I started in the beginning, when I started general real estate, so I was used to knocking on doors and making the phone calls, and that's one thing I think I've learned over the years. No matter what, do your business, make the phone calls, answer your phone, and just continue to do business. I think that's how I've been successful, and even in 08. And same thing what happened with COVID-19. I still continued to do my routine and went to work, and I think that's what helped me be successful, and I've had a better quarter than I've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm. That is really cool.
I feel like that's a common thing for most people. Is you hear there's two people, right? One group saying, "Oh, hey, this is going to really plummet their sales and volume's really going to go down." But then you have another group of people who continue to do what they were doing on a daily basis, and they're still setting record months.
Absolutely.
And the common trend is they still implemented the same systems as before the virus hit, and they're still just rocking and rolling.
Yeah, you have your doomsdayers, and then you have the people who are just going to make it happen no matter what. And so what's the old adage that you can have excuses or results? You can't have both, and I think that you hit it on the head right there. I think that the people who we've had on our show, just like you, have been successful, and they've made it because of exactly what Ricky said. They've kept the processes. They stick true to their routine that they had beforehand. So I love hearing that you're in good company and that you're doing the right thing here too.
Well, I even hope that some of our listeners also see the common trend, and the key takeaway is just to continue. Like, just business and life does not stop just because this virus hit and businesses stopped or closed their doors. Like, the world still needs to operate, and I think at the moment
work differently.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's being adaptable.
Yep, and I think that's the hardest part for most people is adapting to the current market conditions.
For sure. Yeah. And I think that leads us, right into our next point. So what has happened? So, you had this record month. We were anticipating inventory sitting a little bit. What did Lennar do as a company to propel you into that record month? What have they done during this time?
Well, I think that we were all unsure what was going to happen. So Lennar, being an inventory builder, we have the 22 communities just in the south. We continue to build, and I think we cut back a little bit with that. Oh, there's static. So we cut back, and then with all the numbers of sales, we realized, well, that probably was not the best thing to do. So we have wrapped up our starts again.
Are you guys doing any special type of programs or incentives for new home buyers right now during this time?
Absolutely. We're continuing the promotions, the incentives we always have, starting up to $10,000, going up to $12,000 toward closing costs when using our preferred lender.
Wow.
$12,000 in closing costs. And really, I mean, if you think about it, at least in my time, I'm a title guy. I see net sheets all the time, and that is a massive part of the closing cost. Sometimes does that cover the large majority of the closing costs for the buyer?
For a VA buyer, yes, that would cover all of it. On the prepaid, you may still have a little bit leftovers.
Wow.
But majority of it. But there is different programs down there, which is nice. I know, Ricky, you're a loan officer and probably offer a lot of these same programs, but we have a USDA in some of our communities for first-time home buyers, FHA with 3.5% down. So very little out of pocket, which will help a lot of these first-time home buyers get out of these apartments and get their own home.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a big piece of it. That's how we keep the economy going, right? And what I've seen in Tampa, throughout this time, because, like I said, I work on the title side. So the difference is for me is that I get to kind of see what all the agents and the brokerages and the new home builders are doing, but I'm also watching what the lenders are doing and what some of the different lending companies are doing. And so I didn't see too big of a slowdown in Tampa overall in the Tampa housing market through all of this. It seems like we stayed very adaptable, that the agents who were killing it before and the new homes that were killing it before, they adapted and they just pushed out new programs to keep helping. And that's what's made us really, climb through this time, I think, as a team. And so, can you tell us a little bit about, so you've got $12,000 in closing costs. What are some of the other, because I've had people tell us, oh, yeah, man, I went with the lender and I went with the builder and their lender because their lender was doing X, Y, and Z. Is your lender doing anything specific right now for buyers as well?
On loan types or just incentives themselves?
Yeah, I think
either one, yeah.
I mean, yeah, just like the closing costs. I mean, obviously you guys are doing that, but I mean, is there any? I don't think there would be anything else other than closing costs, right?
There's no extra.
Yeah, I didn't think.
no
So.
Okay.
extra.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't.
The flex.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the flexibility with us having so many brand new homes in so many communities, that when a buyer comes in and maybe they are a first-time home buyer with looking for a payment, we have the ability to find them what they're looking for. And Eagle Mortgage, the preferred lender, happens to be very good at that, helping with that situation.
So they can take in a monthly payment, and then you guys can do a reverse search on that to find out what house in your entire inventory fits that the best? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Man, I didn't even know that people were doing that. So, I mean, for all of our agents out there, especially if you're a newer agent who, because we've seen it, right? When you're a resale agent and you're doing residential work, a lot of times you start off predominantly on the buy side, right? And you're doing a lot of buyer transactions. And so for all of our newer agents out there who are watching this, who maybe you have some buyers who are pre-approved that you just can't find anything in their price range, maybe go talk to T and go look at some of this and get that search back through so we can find out what house matches, your needs. Where are your properties right now? Where are you guys selling the most? What seems to be your hot market for your new homes right now?
Well, we started as far north as Touchstone, right off of 301, go down south to Waimama, right off of College and 301.
Okay.
But you hit a good point. Good point, Josh. When I was in general real estate, I would always call my favorite new home consultant and say, hey, I have this customer, we're looking for this monthly payment, and they were able to help me locate and the home or maybe the price point we were looking to it with, and it made it a lot easier.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just another tool in your belt to really help you be successful and to help you close deals. And I think that's great that Lennar is offering something like that. And I do know, Lennar is one of the more prominent builders. I mean, not even just in our area, but in most areas that they're at. We hear about them. So right now you have, you said from 301 down to Waimama, or as a funny story, we were doing one of those when my wife and I were driving around looking at properties one time, and Waimama is right there on that border of like Ruskin too, so sometimes the geographical location is different on the GPS than what it's actually saying on the address.
Right.
And it was one of those open door, or one of those things where I could just call and get the lockbox code and walk into the house, right? So I call him and I tell the lady, I said, I'm at your house here in Waimama. And it was dead silence on the line, and she said, I'm sorry, sir, did you say something about my mama? And I said, oh my gosh. I said, no, ma'am, this city is called Waimama. And she's like, sir, I just keep hearing mama. I don't understand what's going on. And you could hear the whole call center is dying laughing in the background. And I had to say, I spelled it out for her, and she said, oh, Wimauma. Wimauma. I said, yeah, okay. Because the people who live here wouldn't know how to say it properly, right? It's Wimauma now. It was really funny.
That's funny.
Florida really knows how to name some of their
Sure.
some of their cities, I think.
Well, T, real quick, I'm kind of curious as far as inventory goes. Are you guys noticing that a lot of homes are being built and then sitting, and then buyers coming in to buy those homes that have been built, or is it been a lot of buyers coming in saying, hey, I want this particular plan, and you guys are breaking ground on that to start building?
Ricky, we're a little different than most builders. We're an inventory builder, so our market is for somebody that's looking to be in a home within 30 to 90 days.
Okay.
So usually they're looking at resale, and they're looking at Lennar when they're looking at the same time. So that makes us very desirable, I think, for that reason.
Sure. Yeah. So how would it work then for a particular client? Say they wanted to come in and they wanted a particular model or a floor plan or something like that. Is it going to be built within the 90 days, or?
Or would it already be built?
Now that we have sold a lot of our standing inventory, that's 30 to 90 days out, so you have to be adaptable. I think we're talking about that.
Right.
So we will have some homes that have not started yet, so a couple months out, which is a little different for us. We haven't been here in a while. But we would still know the floor plan. This is the floor plan. These are what's included, because we are the everything included builder. And this would be the home site. This is your price, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
Cool. So it's it's almost like picking a house off the shelf. You kind of just walk in and say, yeah, this is the house I want. And then you just kind of take it to the cash register. That's cool.
Oh, that's pretty convenient.
So let's say I am, I'm Josh. I am a first-time home buyer, and I've seen this show now, and I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like definitely something I want to take advantage of. Walk me through the steps. Who do I contact? What does the journey look like for me as a new home buyer with Lennar?
Well, since COVID-19 has happened, what I would suggest is reaching out to me, and you can call. I'm sure you're going to get my information, but I would give you the first steps. Kind of figure out what you're looking for, what price point. I'm sure Ricky would suggest also getting pre-qualified first before you start that process. And then depending on their comfort level, the customer, your comfort level, Josh, I would say, how about we start with some virtual tours? You narrow it down to maybe which floor plan works for you and your wife, and then we can kind of narrow it down to price point, because you've talked to Ricky and got pre-qualified, and then we can kind of narrow in, and this way it's less exposure, or we can meet in and see everything at your convenience too. So whatever works best for you, and I think that's what's nice about Lennar. We have taken that next step to keep your safety and my safety as moving forward.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you actually hit on something that I think has become a lot more widely used during this time, and that is your virtual tours. I know specifically we've done lots of webinars to kind of teach agents how to do them. Can you talk to us about that? What does it look like on the Lennar side? Do you just have virtual tours for each one of your model homes that they can go in and look at, or is it based on the home that's already built?
We have quite a few floor plans, so I can send the virtual tours of each home. Second, I could FaceTime you. I could walk through the home as if you were there with me. We could also do a Zoom call. So it's really working on your comfort level. So we've adapted to make that possible. if you wanted to come in to see homes, I would just make appointments and make sure there's no more than 5 people in a home. Of course, have my wipes to make sure everything is clean as we go.
And do you lock down the toilet paper in the bathroom too, so nobody steals that?
I give you a couple squares beforehand.
This is all you get. You're on a ration.
Yeah, we're rationing out.
It's a closing gift. I heard one agent was giving toilet paper as a closing gift. I was like, there you go.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was very funny. It's funny how this time has made things, funny. Like when I would have never, even through all the hurricanes, so you've been in real estate for 22 years. How long have you been in this area, the South Florida region?
The whole time, the whole 22.
All right, so you've been through it. You've seen the hurricanes. You've seen the doomsday preps for, this level 5 hurricane is going to hit us tomorrow. You guys have to get ready. Next thing you know, everything is gone out of the stores. But toilet paper, that's never been taken.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented.
Nobody's seen that coming.
I mean, who did? And what sucked was I was in the middle of like my re-up time for toilet paper. I just happened to need to renew, my toilet paper game when all this happened, and I went to the store and there was no toilet paper left. Yeah. And I was perplexed at the need to take that. But when we started, I think one person probably grabbed a bunch, and then everybody saw him and just started doing it. I think.
Well, it's funny. I was actually reading a study or a theory behind why so many people were buying the toilet paper, and a psychologist was saying that it's a sense of security. That when people see other people doing it, they automatically think in their head that they need to do the same thing because that person knows something that they do not.
Yeah,
I was like, that's crazy. It's just like a domino effect, right?
And next thing you know, all the stores are out of toilet paper. And we're giving it as a closing gift, which is cool because sometimes, I know realtors spend a lot of money on closing gifts. So a $5 pack of toilet paper, I think it did good for a lot of people.
Well, at least you know at that point it will be used.
You should just take a permanent, unroll it like 50 sheets, and then write your business card on one of the sheets and roll it back.
Yeah, there you go. Surprise.
They get about 50 sheets in, they get a nice reminder.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, we'll transition off of toilet paper for a minute. We'll get back to the topic at hand. So, I think it's really cool that Lennar has done so much to stay adaptable and to continue to try to just, one, keep their business going, which is pumping the economy, right? And two, help people still be able to buy homes. I think that, we got so scared that people stopped looking, which I think that was their big detriment because we're all at home right now. So right now is really the time. Just go online. Just look at the inventory. If you were ever on the fence, especially now, right? Now you've been in the same house for going on 40, 45 days. You know what you don't like in your house anymore. If you don't know, then that might be the perfect house for you, and you don't need to listen any further to what we have to say. But I mean, me personally, I had to move in the middle of this, right? So we were, on that timeline to having to move anyways, and so we started looking around, and I realized that the same inventory I was looking at is the same inventory that was there for a long period of time, and to me, if you were thinking about putting your house up on the market, put it up, right? If you're thinking about going to look at new inventory or going to look at a new area or going down south to the South Shore area, which is really where Lennar is thriving right now, which is, I mean, it's its own little entity down there. That's the next Brandon. That's the next Tampa, So stop getting on the fence. Get off the fence. Figure out what you want to do and just start testing the waters again. Hit up Terenia. So where can they find you? Give us your plug.
So I would start with giving me a call. I'm going to give you my number. It's 813-956-6324. You can also find me on Facebook, and I'm also in Cypress Mill community down in Ruskin by Lennar, and I'm there 5 days a week, and I work weekends.
And she works weekends. That is a dedicated new home sales agent. That's right.
Would you say you're busier on the weekends than you are during the weekday?
I'm pretty steady all week long, to be honest.
Yeah.
But weekends get a little more traffic, I think. Yeah.
I kind of figured.
I've kind of enjoyed the appointment only. It's made it nice, so it is kind of at level.
Yeah. You get to pick your schedule. You don't have like last minute walk-ins and stuff like that. I could totally understand that. It's definitely been difficult. I mean, you're working from home a lot, I'm sure, and I've been working from home now for, I don't even remember what it's like to not work from home, right? Like this is almost I'm like done. I'm like, just, I don't care. Just let me go back to my office. I miss my desk. I miss my people, you know. So I'm ready for this all to get back to normal. But I think we've got some hot fire questions for you that we're gonna shoot your way. It's our opportunity to put you on the spot. So the first one, I want to start with my favorite one, which is, have you seen Tiger King?
Please say yes.
The one episode, because I watched Facebook and watching everybody post. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, all right. Well,
You gotta watch.
I know. So we will parlay that question till later. You have to go home. Your homework is to watch Tiger King, and tell me which one of the characters you would like to be quarantined with. So personally, for me, I picked the guy up in South Carolina because I think he has the best setup. You know, he's got a nice park. And I don't want to be fed to the tigers, so Carol Baskins was out. But you know, I think you'll enjoy the show. Catch up on it. It's a lot of fun. It's interesting that it happened in our backyard. You know, right here in Tampa. So that was cool. But what else we got?
Yeah. So one of the questions is, what's the best book you have read in the last year, and what are you currently reading?
Well, I stay pretty busy. When I'm off, I'm not reading. That's for sure.
Okay. That's okay.
That's totally okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
I will open a
What's that? Oh no, go ahead.
I will open a motivational book, Tony Robbins. If anything, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
I like Tony.
Yeah. You guys have a lot of good videos too. So this one you'll probably be able to relate to. So what's your most embarrassing moment as a real estate agent throughout your entire career? The most embarrassing one?
Opening a door and being surprised what was behind it.
That was the same thing we got from
the last one. What was the surprise behind it?
Was it a person wearing less clothes than anticipated?
I wonder if that's common.
Maybe we should change the question now. Have you ever walked in on a naked person during a showing?
Yeah.
Because this is a thing, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Ben Whetstone that we had, and he was like, yeah, I walked right in, and he said that the house, that they were making a lot of noise, so that the person should have known. Like, he set it up, you know, for that to happen. But what was yours? Was yours a setup, or was it an accident? Were they perplexed?
It's been a long time, but it was an accident. I was pretty young in the business, so I was surprised.
Did he answer the front door that way?
No, I went to the room, the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, same thing.
You know, you have an appointment.
Sure.
Customers behind you. You have an appointment. You're going in the rooms because you want to be the leader to let them in to make sure they're seeing everything. They did.
Well, I mean, what do you do at that moment? Do you like play it cool, say hello, I'm here for the house?
Yeah, do you like, oh, we'll look at the rest of the house while you just run. We're good. Never mind. We're good.
Changed their mind.
We're gonna take that offer back. That's too funny.
That's awesome.
So the next one I think is the
Tiger King.
Yeah. So I want to ask, what is the one thing? So let's say I'm somebody who, during this COVID period, a lot of people have been sent home, right? It's an unfortunate part of an economic crisis, is that businesses start to lean out and trim the fat, unfortunately. And so there's been a lot of people who have been sent home who are now, like, you know, maybe a little sour towards being, you know, a salaried employer, being an hourly employee who isn't in control of their own stuff. So let's say I'm somebody at home who's thinking about being a new home agent. Is Lennar hiring right now? Are you guys open to that?
I'm sure we are. We're always hiring talented realtors. I would definitely, if you're looking for a job, I will shoot you the right way.
Okay.
Shoot you to the right person.
So what would you say is the one thing for, you know, maybe some of our other new home consultants who are new to this business, who maybe they didn't have a lot of the success that Lennar has pushed through during this time, or didn't have a lot of the processes that you have to maintain success? What's something that they can do, the one thing they can do today to really help their career over anything else that they could do?
I tell every new person in real estate, either new or resell, again, it's what you do today is going to get you business 6 months out. So you have to be consistent. I do the same things today, no matter what. Sometimes I get tired and think, oh, that really wasn't working. Well, it was working. If I skip it 2 weeks, I realize that my business has slowed down.
Wow.
Consistency.
So pay attention to the compound effect.
Yeah.
You know, everything that you do has a compound effect. That's good. That's great. So consistency, compound, Lennar, T, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here with us today and expressing some of the things that your people are doing. I am so happy to see that you have made it through this crazy period. I am so excited to see you again when all this is over and just give you a big old hug.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you for having me, Ricky.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, T.
So for all of our listeners, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe below. Follow us. We, every 2 weeks we're dropping an episode to really just bring some knowledge to the industry. We had T with us today. We really appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.